Welcome to the Serious Shift blogcast. We have only one question. What does Serious Shift mean to you? To answer that and much more, here's your host, Dennis Moseley-Williams.
Hi, I'm Dennis, and welcome back to the Serious Shift blogcast, episode number 127. Here's my question. My question is, what makes something cool? Why is a certain classic car cool? Why is certain packaging and certain logos, why are they cool? What is it about certain brands that make them cool? What is it about that? Now you might be thinking, well, I don't know. It's subjective. I don't know. It's just magic. Sometimes it just works, or it captures our imagination, word spreads. We all, we want to click together and be groups or what have you, okay? But all the designs that I just showed you all came out of the brain of the same guy. His name is Raymond Loewy. And I was vaguely aware of this guy, I must admit, because I knew, I would have never known his name, I will confess. But I knew there was sort of some lore to explore with the guy that created the Lucky Strike cigarette package, okay? Raymond Loewy was from France, moved to the United States in 1919, and you wouldn't necessarily know this, but this guy had more influence on shaping the American aesthetic in the 20th century than anybody else, okay? From packages, Coca Cola bottles, sports cars, Greyhound buses, trains, Skylab. The guy touched American design from Greyhound buses to space stations, okay? And he had this fantastic formula figured out. And when I read about it recently, I realized that this formula applies to every business in the world. So here was the deal. How do you know if it's cool? So his formula it's a little acronym, MAYA, which stands for Most Advanced Yet Acceptable, which is a fancy way of saying this. People want to be trendy, but they don't want to look weird. Okay, so they want to be most advanced, but acceptable, not too crazy. Okay, so this boiled down to basically two rules. The rules were this: if you want to sell something surprising, make it familiar. And if you want to sell something familiar, make it surprising. So what kind of business are you in? I get all kinds of viewers here. Do you make something really surprising, something crazy, some new musical instrument, some new art, some new experience, and nobody's interested in it? Make it more familiar. Are you a financial advisor and you sell financial services? That's very familiar. Make it surprising. Let me tell you where you can see this in practice, because science backs up Raymond Loewy. Science suggests that proves like, no, he's right. If you want to change a person, sell a person, don't make it too crazy. Make it a little surprising but familiar. So here's how it works. In 1932, he presented a design for a train to the Pennsylvania Railway Company. This sleek, bullet-shaped, sexy thing. It looked like it was from the future. And of course, they all reacted poorly. That was too crazy. So he retreated. Sell something surprising, make it familiar. So he showed them a new design. And this design was very rudimentary, boring train engine. They've seen a million of them. Then he showed them a second one that was morphing towards what he wanted. So that by the time he showed them the third design again, which was his initial far out cool design, they were used to it now. They got more comfortable, and that's ultimately what they went with. Now here's an example of making familiar surprising. Spotify has a little service, Discover Music. They send it out every Monday to their subscribers. So as it was initially intended, every Monday morning you would get 30 new songs to listen to. Now the idea was that everybody is interested in new music, but nobody's interested in searching for it. So I know I like this band. Can somebody just find me other bands that are like them and introduce them to me, do all the legwork for me? I would appreciate it. That was the service. But there was a bug in it. They didn't do it right. So as a consequence, the little algorithm-y thing, it would send you a list of 30 songs, but it would accidentally slip in one of your favorite songs. Not a new song at all, but a song you already knew. So when they realized this error, which they thought was an error, they eliminated and fixed it. They ensured that every Monday you would get 30 brand new songs and not a familiar one, okay? What they were surprised to see was that engagement went down. People were now less interested in it because they were hearing all new stuff right? Familiarity breeds contempt. The more familiar with it, we tune it out. On one hand, if it's too strange, we can't relate with it. On the other hand, if it's too familiar, we tire of it. So keep that in mind as it relates to what you're trying to get your audience to do. If you're trying to get them to do something that's a little surprising, make sure you're making it familiar enough that you can lead them through it. Conversely, if what you're doing is offering people services that they need that are very, very familiar, don't make the mistake of becoming predictable. Thanks, everybody. Wherever you are, I'll talk to you again the next time. Cheers.
We hope you enjoyed the Serious Shift blogcast. We would love any suggestions, feedback on topics, ideas, or challenges that may have you feeling stuck. Also, please leave a 5-star review wherever you are enjoying this content. It helps Dennis out tremendously. On behalf of Dennis and the team, see you next episode.